Hello everybody and welcome to the canal at Loxwood. Now I thought I'd come here today to do a bit of a little trail run, also a bit of test of the Liberate Nitros from Puma that I've got, because they're a very minimalist shoe. I thought it'd be an ideal opportunity to test them out. So here they are. You can see that I've got the matching socks, and also the FOD colorway vest is also appropriate for this shoe. So let's have a quick look at them. So the first thing to notice about this shoe is they're incredibly lightweight. These come in my UK 13 at a very minimalist 240 grams. In fact, one of them was 238 grams. That's about 10 grams lighter than the Next Percent original. The only other shoes that I've got lighter than that are the Nike Streak LT4s, which really are just a spike without any spikes, and some spikes themselves. So as far as I can tell from these specs, the stack is 28 at the heel and 18 at the front, which does give them a rather minimalist feel, but they've got this nitrogen infused midsole, very similar to the Hyperion Tempo if you've got those. It does sort of feel like it's a bit like a racing flat, but it's not really built as a racing flat, it's more sort of built as a sort of a low distance trainer by Puma. And I got these incredibly cheaply, so they retail at £90 at the moment. I managed to find a 20% discount via the Honey app, so I actually bought them for £72. So I ordered them on Friday and they actually came the next day for free of charge shipping, so that was very good. This version is actually called the Cool Adapt version. I think that's mainly talking about the actual colorway of them. There are some other ones, like the FOD runner's got like a red pair, and there's also a black pair I've seen, and a mainly white pair. But I thought these were rather nice, go with my socks, and indeed the FOD runner's top one I've got here. So looking closely at the shoe, you've got an engineered mesh at the front here, but it's very, very light. 6 eyelets, but also an opportunity to do the double knot. You've also got a gusseted tongue, which is nice. But when you put these on foot, they do feel incredibly snug. I've got a very narrow foot, but I'll put them on in a minute and show you. But the fit is very much like you get on the Adidas Adios because of all the laces you've got here. The insole does come out, there's not much to it. Just doing the squidge test there, you can feel it's nice and bouncy, but it doesn't feel much to it at all. Looking at the outside, you've what's called Puma grip here in the heel and at the front, with exposed foam in the middle where you don't really need it. So if I put them on here, I've got plenty of room in the toe box here. I've got a good thumb width there. In fact, if anything, they're probably slightly longer than I normally get in the 13s. So I don't think I would want a shorter shoe, but certainly that's plenty long enough. And a very nicely locked down feel across the midfoot here. I've got quite narrow feet, but this is perhaps one of the few shoes I've got. I don't need to pull in laces too much. They already feel quite snug. Nice laces, they're just traditional, but I do like this colourway, I must say. I got the socks first. Pity they aren't Puma socks, but can't have everything. And the back, you might think there's a bit of a problem with the lockdown there. Some people said you need to be slightly worried about the Achilles, so I've only done a short run so far, so I'll have to watch that. Okay, I think we'll go for a little run now and just get a bit of feedback. Got to go on the canal towpath for about 2 miles and then do a bit of road coming back. So it's sort of a fairly easy pace today. So they look more like a racer, but they aren't really billed as that. So I want to see how they shape up at a little slower speed. Okay, I think I'll start my run here. Not much room there, is there? So I'd have to duck if I went through there. So we've come about a mile now. How do they feel? Well, pretty good actually, so light. And they're ideal for this sort of towpath, sort of firmish surface. We don't need so much cushioning because obviously it's not tarmac. I can feel the toes a bit. So there's obviously that less stack in the toe box. 18 at the front, they say. So quite a nice sort of low to the ground feeling, which probably doesn't make it the best shoe for a really long run, but I think certainly if I was going for some fast intervals on here or fast tempo run, it'd be really nice. Okay, so nice little run up to Dronbridge Lane Canal Bridge here, rebuilt in 2001. Let's just do a few strides, see how they feel, like just pushing the pace a bit. That was just sort of a steady 8-minute mile pace, just under pace for a couple of miles. Right, then we go down on the road there, I think. Go back to Loxwood where I parked the car that way. But let's just see how we go on a few strides. Yeah, really nice on those strides. Definitely the light feeling and the low to the ground toe box area feels like you're really going to be able to get up on your toes. That probably negates them for a really long road run. But I'm going to do some road miles now, see how they compare. About another 2.5 miles back to Loxwood on the road, just to see. They are really a road shoe, so use them in their natural habitat. But yeah, very promising soon. It's great to have a light shoe in your armoury, especially on a surface like this, where in the summer you can get away with road shoes and really the lightest as possible, because you don't really need so much cushioning, and an extra start just feels make you feel unstable. Not had any problems at all from the Achilles area so far. Only done about 2 miles, have to be said, but I think the fact that it's nice and long for me negates sort of any rubbing on the back. So I think if you're unsure of the size, then certainly go true to size. It's the same size for me in Puma in these ones that is in Nike and Saucony, UK 13, 32 centimetre shoe. So yeah, I think in a snug sort of minimalist type shoe, you appreciate the extra length. Just allows you to get that, spread the toes a bit at the front, because the toe box doesn't feel that cramped up. It's like they're sort of narrow across the midfoot, which is nice. It allows you, when you put your foot down at the front, to feel like you're getting some sort of feedback there. Right, let's go and do a few road miles then. Bit of an odd one here, Roger Dimmock Lane road sign, but it's clearly just a sort of an access way, slip way to the canal, looks like. Opened September 2003. Yeah, looks like Roger Dimmock was the guy who actually funded it, so yeah, interesting one. Okay, so we're back on the road. How's it doing here? Well, not quite as good, I have to say. I can certainly feel my toes, especially my right toes. If I rock back downhill on the hill, which is more stack, it feels more comfortable. But I am a bit of a toe-off runner, so I think for me, it wouldn't be an ideal shoe for the road. With this little drag here, at least it actually is nice to be the lighter weight. Okay, so back in Loxwood, we've got an outdoor library here under what looks like the bus shelter. And we've actually got a station road. There's that road down there. Now I assume this station road must be the station road to Rudgwick, which is on the Downs Link, a disused station where there's now a medical centre. There's never a station here, and I can't think there was ever sort of like a coach station or anything like that, or a bus station. So that is about 3 or 4 miles that way. I have to run that way one time. Anyway, little interlude there. So here I am back at Loxwood, 10k done, bit of a mix of canal towpath here, a few strides along the canal towpath that way, and then the road mile. Did one road mile, just over 7-minute mile. I'd have to say that they feel better on the trails. Just felt that going on the road, I could feel the toes a bit, and unless I was going really fast, maybe that would be better. But just for a sort of a general road run, maybe just a bit too low ground feeling for me. But yeah, certainly felt okay. Didn't have any problems at all with Achilles, that FOD runner said he had. Although I only did 10k, didn't I? So I have to see if I go any longer. I don't think I'd probably want to take these shoes out for, say, a 10-mile road run. I think I'll take a bit more sort of high stack cushion shoe for that. But something like this, on this sort of path, or an old railway path like the Downs Link, which is near here, be ideal. Just that slightly softer feeling with no tarmac. But you're going to get a nice bit of grip, and you get that sort of nice low to the ground feeling, so you can sort of bounce off things nicely. So yeah, all in all, a very promising shoe, very useful shoe to have in my armoury, because in our size we get very few shoes that are lightweight I think in sort of normal size, a 240-gram shoe would be considered quite ordinary for us, but for us that's quite a luxury. You only really get out and out sort of minimalist stripped down races like this, and I think this is sort of a cross between that and something that's got a bit more cushion in it. Not quite sure this is an out and out racer. We'll have to try another day to see if I can do some faster intervals, but certainly on those strides it felt very nice, and it might be good, say, for a park run where it's a bit sort of mixed terrain in the summer, where you don't feel like you want to wear a road shoe, but anything like trail shoes would be a bit heavy. So I think this would be a good option there. One other thing about the Liberate Nitro, unfortunately, they're not actually legal for track races. I looked on the World Athletics list, and unfortunately, because the stack at the back is a 28mm, just over the limit of 25 for track races. So it'd be quite a good track trainer, I think, but unfortunately you can't use them in a track race, which seems a bit dark because they are pretty much a low to the ground feeling shoe. And there are some shoes on there like the Hoka Clifton 7 and the Mach 4 and indeed the Rincon 2, which are legal apparently, which sounds very odd because when I checked they've all got a stack height at the back of at least 29mm, so not quite sure how I understand that. Any comments below, welcome. Okay, so I hope you found this first look at the Liberate Nitros interesting, and like and subscribe and all that, and look forward to seeing you on the next one then. Bye!